So this one is the another lecture on the problems on Z parameters. In the last lecture we have shown 3 solved examples, and here we will show that remaining examples starting from the 4th one. So here also we will see that one network is shown for which we have to find out the corresponding Z parameters from this given configuration. So here we can see that elements are connected not either in T-way or in pi configuration. There is some more elements present in some different way. So if this is the total configuration, and our aim here is to find the values for Z parameters. So for every problems regarding the Z parameters solution, the method remains same. First of all, we have to set one of the terminals opened. So that means either input port or output port at a time we should open. So if we open this terminal, so obviously the corresponding current through this port should be set to 0. So again we are opening that output port to make I2 0. Once we make I2 0, then we can easily find the value for Z11 and Z21. These two values can be found out at the condition I2 equals to 0. So how to find out that value of Z11 and Z21? First, if we concentrate on Z11, so always we can see that Z11 should be equals to V1 by I1. So if we denote this current as the current flowing from the input port because of V1, then finding of the ratio V1 by I1 gives us the value for Z11. So what is the relation between this voltage and current? We can write that V1 should be equals to, V1 should be equals to I1 into R equivalent 1. So this R equivalent 1 should be equals to the value for Z11. So Z11 should be V1 by I1, which will give us the value for R equivalent 1 in ohm. So finding of this R equivalent 1 is only the required thing that for calculation of Z11. So here we can observe the circuit properly, as this terminal we have set to 0 means opened. So current only will flow from this direction. So here again, just like previous problem, I1 will flow up to this point C. Then it is getting two paths to flow. One part of I1 will flow through this path, another part of I1 will flow through this path. So looking from this terminal, if we want to calculate R equivalent 1, it is easy to understand that you can find R equivalent 1 value as 3 plus 5, because these two resistances will be in series. Then this series combination of resistance should be in parallel with this 2 ohm. So this plus this parallel to, then total this combination is in series with this 1 ohm. So finally R equivalent 1 should be 3 plus 5 parallel to plus 1. So in the next page we are showing this thing, that looking back to the network from terminal AB, R equivalent 1 is calculated as like this. Already we have explained why it is calculated like this. So 3 plus 5 parallel to plus 1. Finally this value we are getting as the value for Z11. So this is the value for Z11. Now next what we have to do, it is written here that Z11 should be equals to 2.6 ohm. Now how to find out the value for Z21? If we again come back to the figure, Z21 should be equals to, what will be the value for Z21 mathematically? We know Z21 should be equals to V2 by I1. So what about V2? We do not know for the time being. So V2 should be equals to this 5 ohm resistance into the current flowing through this 5 ohm resistance. Say for example we are considering Ix is a current which is flowing through this 5 ohm resistance. So the calculation of this Ix is required, as well V2 can be calculated as 5 into that Ix. So how we find out the current flowing through this 5 ohm resistor? We have to apply simply the current division rule. So already for calculation of Z11 we have seen that how the currents gets divided. So here according to current division rule we can calculate the current carried by this 5 ohm resistance as a part of current I1. So how we calculate the current here? If we write here as Ix, so Ix should be equals to the total current I1 into the opposite resistance 2 by the summation of these 3, because Ix is carried by not only 5 ohm, it is also carried by this 3 ohm. So the value of Ix should be equals to I1 into 2 by 2 plus 3 plus 5. So in the next page we will see the same thing, because Ix already we have assumed as the current flowing through 5 ohm resistor. So it will be I1 into 2 by 2 plus 3 plus 5. So we are getting this value of Ix in terms of I1. So this is the value of current. Now to get the value of V2, just we have seen in the previous page that how we calculate V2. V2 should be the current flowing through that 5 ohm resistance, which is I1 by 5 into the 5. So it is coming as I1 volt. So this gives Z21 as V2 by I1 when I20 as 1 ohm. So that is the method of finding the Z21 value. Again, this once we understand the method of finding of Z11 and Z21 by opening output port, then the next job should be to open the input port to get the other two values, and the calculation procedure remains same. We should consider the circuit from the output port and keeping the input port opened. So if we assume that input to be open, which makes I1 equals to 0. So again we come here to the figure. So say for example now we are assuming that this side we are opening and I1 becomes 0, and from this side as if the current will now start to flow. So if we denote some current I2 here, so how this I2 is flowing through the other part of the circuit? So I2 will come to this point, then again it gets branched through this path and this path. So obviously, and under this condition your 1 ohm will carry no current, because this 1 ohm is connected directly in series with this input port, and input port current is set to 0. So for which R equivalent to, in this page now we see what will be the R equivalent to looking from this output port. It will be the combination of these two resistance in series. So 3 plus 2 parallel 5. So here we are writing the same thing, 3 plus 2 parallel 5, which is giving us 2.5 ohm resistance. So now again just like calculation for Z11, here also we will do the same thing for Z22. Z22 is V2 by I2 when I1 0. So V2 in terms of I2 is I2 into R equivalent 2. So it will give us 2.5 into I2 volt, and finally we are getting 2.5 ohm as the value of Z22. Now next and the last one is the calculation of Z12. So how to find out Z12? So Z12 is V1 by I2. So how we get the value of V1? Again, value of V1 we can calculate as current through this path into this resistance, because through this resistance no current is carried, so no drop will occur here. So V1 will be the voltage available across this resistance, across the C and D terminal. So how we calculate that thing? Again we have to assume some current to be flowing through this 2 ohm resistance, and in the next page we are just assuming that say let IY be the corresponding current flowing through that, and now we are applying the same current division rule. for the time being the total current is I2 not I1, as I1 is already we set as 0. So I2 into that 5 ohm resistance by the summation of these 3 resistance, which is giving us I2 by 2 ampere current. Now again V1 should be equals to that IY into 2. IY is the current carried by this 2 ohm into the resistance value, which is equals to the terminal voltage V1, and finally again we are getting I2 what. So V1 by I2 at I10 is coming again as 1 ohm. So that is the value of Z12, and in this way we can able to get the 4 values of Z parameters by opening one terminal at a time. Okay. Now again we come to the next problem. Here we see that the circuit itself is shown here and one dependent current source is present. Okay, and again questions is finding of Z parameters. So we have to observe the circuit properly, and how we solve this one. Here as the dependent source itself is present, so we have to deal it with properly. So with open circuiting the output port, again you have to open the terminal output port CD. Here it is not written, so here you write it as, I have forgot to write. So this one should be the CD terminal. So CD, and applying the voltage source at the input port terminal. The loop equations are given by, so we will just form the loop equation. So from this side, if we forming the loop equation, it is giving us V1 equals to I1 into 10 plus 5 minus I2 dash into 5. So what is this I2 dash? I2 dash is the current carried by this 5 ohm resistance because of the dependent source present, because this dependent source is the source which is controlled by this current, and under opening means when we open the terminal CD, I2 is already 0. So this one is actually the equation we are forming for the loop present in the left side. So actually you can see here this figure is actually showing it, that how we are forming the equations. Say normal KVL rule, what we know so far, that we have to assume some loop current. So here as already I1 direction is provided, so we are considering this as the current I1. Then another loop current we are assuming that current, say for example I2 dash. Okay, now in this loop already one dependent current source is present. So in a loop at a time, never more than one current can exist, and for which we have to assume that I2 prime should be equals to minus I2 prime should be equals to I1. Why? We are assuming same direction of current flow in this two loop. Here I1 direction is this way, and here also I2 prime direction is this way, but the original direction of dependent current source is upward. So these two current directions are opposite to each other, for which we are writing minus I2 prime equals to I1. So if this one is true, that means under the condition I2 0, we can say this loop current should be equals to this current because of the means 0 value of I2, as well in a loop never more than one current can exist. So if that is true, then the previous equation now can be formed as replacing the value of minus I2 prime as I1, we are getting 20 I1. So V1 by I1 simply we can calculate at I2 0 as 20 ohm, which is giving us the value of Z11. And I2 prime, if it is minus I1, it is actually minus V1 by 20. Okay, so minus V1 by 20, this value we are getting from here. Actually it is actually V1 equals to 20 into I1 and I2 prime equals to minus I1. So minus V1 by 20 ampere, we can write it for the value of I2 prime. Now again we are forming the second loop equation. So second loop equation means equation for this loop. So here we are observing that I1 minus I2 prime into 5. So this resistance is carrying both the current, for which the effective current should be the difference of these two current. So this two current difference into 5 minus 10 I2 prime. So this resistance is carrying only this current. So we are getting this equation. Okay. Now again we are replacing this value, and finally we are forming this equation in terms of only I1, where we write V2 by I1 when I2 0 and getting the value 20 ohm also. Okay, so this is the first step where we can able to find out the values of Z11 as well Z21. In the next step, what we do, we have to open the input port and giving the supply from the output port as V2 and current source. Now what happens, if whenever we open this terminal to make I1 0, so that dependent source will actually becomes meaningless or useless or having no value, because that was a dependent current source originally present whose value is depending on the value of I1. So I1 0 makes this source also 0. So it is imperative to say that it will as if not present under this condition within the circuit. So now we redraw our circuit when this terminal is opened, and it is the total circuit configuration under this condition. Okay, so how to find out the other two Z parameters? So here we observe that here I2 and I2 dash can be treated analogously. So here actually V2 is given as the supply, and we are considering that some current obviously flow here as the original two-port network parameter I2, whose direction and the current direction flowing here is same, for which again in a loop as more than one current cannot exist, so we can take these two current analogous or same current. Okay, so if we assume that one, so V2 should be equals to I2 prime into 10 plus 5, so 15 I2 prime or 15 I2. So Z22 should be V2 by I2 15 ohm, very simply we can get, and V1 value, V1 should be equals to I2 prime into 5, okay, or 5 I2, so it will be 5 I2. So this calculation is very simple actually. You have to just understand the circuit configuration and you have to redraw it properly at a different step. Okay, after discussing the fifth problem, next we come to this sixth problem. Sixth problem is a problem based on a section which is looking like a bridged T section. So bridged T section is also important for your exam purpose as well. It is also common circuit configuration, for which again we try to observe whether it is possible to find out Z parameter from this connection or not. So observing the circuit is means here also V1 is given, I1 is starting to flow from here, V2 is present here. So at a time only we consider one port keeping another port open, or vice versa. So initially always we normally do that, opening the output terminal makes our output port current 0, and then again we are redrawing this circuit. So this terminal is opened. Under this condition, how the currents are flowing through the different part of the circuit, that is very important. So here I1 at this point, it's getting two paths to flow. One part of I1 will flow through this resistance, another part of I1 will flow through these resistances. That means another part of I1 will flow through this 3 ohm as well this 2 ohm. Then it is meeting at this point. Meeting at this point means at this point again the current through 1 ohm and the current through this 2 ohm again unites, and through this path again I1 will flow. So if we separately denote the currents through this path as I4, and through these two resistances as I3. So I3 plus I4 again is coming here, which is nothing but I1. Okay, so in this problem our aim is to find obviously Z11 and Z21, because we are setting this input output port 0 means opened. So again what we do, we have to calculate the R equivalent one, because initially always we understand up to so far whatever we have discussed, we have understood that V1 should be equals to I1 into R equivalent 1. So R equivalent 1 calculation gives us the value of Z11. So how we get the value of R equivalent 1? Here it is easy that this 3 ohm and 2 ohm are in series, because both are carrying the I3 current. So 3 plus 2, this series combination is in parallel with this 1 ohm. So 3 plus 2 parallel 1, and this entire combination again is in series with this middle branch 5 ohm. So here it is shown 3 plus 2 parallel 1 plus 5. So it is giving us 35 by 6 ohm resistance. So we are getting the value of Z11 in this way. Again, our next job to find out the value of Z21, which is V2 by I1. So what is the value of V2, that we have to understand first. V2 should be the voltage available across this to this path, means between this actually. So actually drop across this plus drop across this, these two should be added together to get the value of V2. Before that we have to calculate the value of I3 in terms of I1. So again just current division rule we are applying. So I3 equals to I1, which is the total current, into the opposite resistance 1 ohm into the summation of these three, which is giving us 1 by 6 into I1. Again I am saying I3 is the current which is flowing through the resistances 3 ohm and 2 ohm. We want to find out I3 in terms of I1. So I1 is the total current. So total current into the opposite resistance. Opposite resistance means the resistance which is not carrying I3. So 1 ohm is the resistance which is not carrying I3. So this is why 1 by the summation of these 3. So 1 plus 3 plus 2, which is giving us 1 by 6 I1. Now we calculate the value of V2. So what is V2? V2 should be the value. This resistance is carrying I1 current, because this is I3 plus I4, which is nothing but I1. So I1 into 5 obviously, plus 2 into this I3, because 2 ohm is carrying only the I3 current. So 2 into I3 plus 5 into I1 should be the value for V2. So that is why we are writing V2 equals to, we are replacing the value of I3 in terms of I1. So it will be I1 by 6 into 2. So I1 by 3 plus this. So this ratio we are calculating as 16 by 3 ohm. So this is the value for Z21. Now again we are doing the same thing from the opposite port, keeping the input port open and giving the supply from output port. We are again redrawing the circuit in the next page. So here in that same way we are observing that now the current is I2. At this point I2 is getting two paths to flow. One path is this, another one is this. So if we take the separate current notation as this one is I6 say, and this one is the I5 say. So again at this point I5 and I6 both meets, and again we are getting the value I2. So looking from this terminal, R equivalent 2 should be calculated now. So you can now, I hope you can understand and can able to get the value of R equivalent 2 very easily. It should be 3 plus 1 parallel this resistance. I forgot to write it here. What was the value? It was 2 ohm here. So it will be 2 ohm. So 3 plus 1 parallel to plus 5. So it is written here R equivalent to 3 plus 1 parallel to plus 5. we are calculating this as 19 by 3 ohm. So again V2 should be equals to I2 into R equivalent 2, and we are getting this value. So V2 by I2 is 10 by 3 ohm. Now again we have to calculate the value of V1 because Z12 is V1 by I2. So we are writing V1 in terms of I2 like this. So for that again we calculate the value of I5, because just like the last step, what we write for V1 should be equals to I2 into 5 plus I5 into 1. Okay, so what about this I5? I5 we can calculate as equal to total current I2 into opposite resistance 2 by 2 plus 3 plus 1. So we see here whether it is true or not. Yes, I5 should be equals to total current I2 into 2 by 2 plus 3 plus 1. So I2 by 3 is the value for I5. Now we are forming the equation of V1. Just I have said that it is I5 into 1 plus 5 into I2, which is finally giving us 16 by 3 into I2, and this will be the value for Z12. So this is the method of calculation of Z parameters. So up to this you can understand that what is the method of finding Z parameters for any given section of network, and the method remains same. One of the terminals should be kept open, that is one thing you should remember. Another one is you always have to apply very frequently the current division rule and calculation of equivalent resistance from different sides. So that thing is required to understand, and I hope the calculation here is not so much difficult. You just have to observe the circuit properly and you have to form the equation properly, so that it is very easy to